Hey everybody, it's Space Ollie for All Things Mobile, and today I'll be doing the full video review of the Samsung Galaxy S3. Now this is the LTE variant, so it's the North American variant, and it's not a quad core, but it is a dual core, and it's a dual core 1.5 gigahertz Qualcomm S4 Snapdragon. So it's, even though it's not a quad core, it's still a pretty speedy dual core. If you didn't see the unboxing video, I'll do the quick hardware tour now. So front, you've got a 1.9 megapixel camera, I believe it is, earpiece, Samsung, ambient light sensors, proximity sensors, 4.8 inch screen. It's an HD screen, it's a 720p Super AMOLED display. On the bottom you've got one button here, and you've got two soft keys, your typical Android control keys. And you can see, and it also looks like, and it also looks like this is done in brushed aluminum or brushed metal, but it's actually just plastic. So on the back you've got the same kind of plasticky back, but it does look very textured, so it's not too bad. The only concern I've got with that is it may slip out of your hand a little bit easier, and the phone is quite thin as well. Left hand side, we have got the volume rocker and nothing else. Bottom, micro USB port and also a microphone right there. Moving on to the right hand side of the device, you've just got the one button here, which is your power on off and also acts as your lock key. On the top we've got the 3.5mm headset jack, as well as a little indent for being able to take off the battery cover like that. And yeah, that's about it for the hardware on the device. Also it comes with 2 gigabytes of RAM, which is pretty awesome, because you can have a lot of applications in their saved state, as well as run a lot of processes without worrying about your phone getting slow or laggy. So that's good. That's a good spec boost. 2 gigabytes of RAM. So this is the lock screen. We've got the time, the date, and we've got unregistered SIM because our SIM is not registered. This is, if you're curious, this is just the Bell version. So yeah, that's that. This is the home screen of the Galaxy S3, and it's running Android 4.0.4, so it's running Gingerbread. Now, Samsung should make a release to Android 4.1 Jelly Bean, or if they decide to just skip it and go on to 4.2, they can do that. That's at their discretion, basically. But I don't see why this device would be excluded from running 4.1, because it does have the Snapdragon S4 processor at 1.5 gigahertz. It's got the 2 gigabytes of RAM. The screen's, it's a very nice screen, etc., etc. So it's a very high-end device. I don't see why it would be missing out on 4.1. So like I said, standard Android interface. It's very vanilla, as a lot of people like to say, and it means it doesn't have much customization. The only real things that Samsung does with their devices in terms of customization is put the TouchWIZ UI, which is their system, which basically, if you go into apps and you scroll through, this is kind of TouchWIZ. Basically, this is what TouchWIZ is. Widgets, again, you can go through them pretty quickly, and you could just fly through them again. So in terms of performance and speed in just general navigation, so far in my testing it's been pretty good. Phone, we can't really dial any numbers right now because it'll tell us not registered on the network, right? Because our SIM is not even a valid SIM. But you got the logs, you got the favorites, and you got your contacts, and this does sync up to your Google. You can sync this up to your Google services, so you can get all your contacts, your emails, everything sent through the device wirelessly, and have all that synced up. And also with this device, let me just quickly show you. Hang on, let's just go to settings. No. We will go to a yes. Trying to get the live wallpaper here. Edit page probably, I guess. Nope. Anyways, we'll figure that one out later. But as you guys can see, the pinch and zoom here works pretty much flawlessly here on any page. So we're going to go into the browser actually, because that's what a lot of people do use their phones for these days. We'll go into nope, AT Mobile, and this gives you a good look at the keyboard. So we're doing this over Wi-Fi again because our SIM is not registered to the network. So you guys can see it loaded on our page pretty quickly. It's done now. Pinch to zoom works. Landscape mode, it does switch pretty quickly, and it has nice slow transitions. So we will go into an article. Let's go into this one, and we can, yeah. So it works. And again, you obviously have all the browser settings you know and love. You could add shortcut, new window, add bookmark. So new window is basically just like your tab system. So if I want to go to like a website, let's go to cbc.ca. cbc.ca. It's a favorite, and we'll switch site here. We'll go to the full site. Yeah, and then we will. Then we can switch through the websites here. So again, that 2 gigabytes of RAM really does help. As you can see, there's no lag here. Switching between websites, we will close that out. So that's the browser. It's pretty good. It's the standard Android browser, but you can also I think this is actually, yeah, this is the standard Android browser, but there is Chrome for these devices now that they're running 4.0, so you can download the Chrome browser, which may be a little bit better. I don't know, it depends on your preference for that. Next, we'll take a look at the apps here. So it does come with a few Samsung specific ones, like All Share, Chat On up here, which is like their messaging service. It works across platforms, so it's pretty interesting. Game Hub, I believe, is a Samsung app. Later, yeah, I believe this is a Samsung app. I don't think this is a full-on app from Android itself. And some popular ones like Flipboard. You've got Google Maps, Google Messenger, and things like S Memo, S Planner, S Suggest, S Voice. These are all Samsung apps. S Voice is kind of like the Siri of the devices. So it's basically just the voice control and voice dictation software that's on the Samsung devices. So if we skip this, and we can tell it what we want it to do. So let's cancel. Let's try to set an alarm. So set alarm for 5 a.m. tomorrow. And as you can see, it saved my alarm, and it confirmed with me. So we can also tell it to do a whole bunch of other things, like search Google for something. So we could just say search for Samsung Galaxy S3. Search the internet for Samsung Galaxy S3. And bam, it pulls up the web browser and it searches Google for Samsung. I said S3, but it searched Samsung, so yeah, that's called S Voice. S Memo is another Samsung service or Samsung specific app. Let's have a new one. You can just write. S Memo is really an interesting app on the Galaxy Note that we had reviewed, simply because it uses the stylus, and it's pretty interesting. There's a lot of shortcuts you can do with that. A couple other features on this device is Bluetooth 4.0. That's pretty interesting. You've also got, it's a DLNA certified device. It's got NFC. Oops, it's got NFC as well. And with the NFC, you can do Android Beam, which is pretty cool. You can send like music playlists and whatnot and share websites, etc. via the NFC technology in the Samsung Beam, S Beam, S Beam or Android Beam, whatever they call it. And in the settings here, you can also see that you could turn this into a portable Wi-Fi hotspot. This has been a feature that's been around since Android, I think like 2.2 or 2.3, so it's been around for a while. And as you guys can see me going through all these menus and navigating through the device, it's a very fast, fluid device. So that's one good thing that Android devices used to kind of be known for being a little bit laggy or not having performance up to par with some of the other devices like iOS. But in this configuration, it works great. And I think Android 4.0 itself is a very nice upgrade, because it does solve a lot of issues that people are having with performance and things like that. The video player actually will play DivX videos, HD videos, so that's nothing to worry about. It doesn't accept just MP4, it accepts other file formats as well, and same with the music player. It comes with the preloaded file manager you can go through. It's a very simple one, but it does integrate with the share option, so that's kind of convenient. Other than that, there's nothing much. It's your basic Android experience. It's Android 4.0. Some advantages to this device are probably the larger screen. If you like the 4.8-inch form factor, this device might be for you. Basically, if you don't want a Galaxy Note and you think it's too big, the Galaxy Note 1 or 2, and you think that you don't want the HTC One X, and you prefer a Samsung device, this is a viable alternative. So we'll head into the Play Store, we'll load that up to see how quick that loads. And the Play Store is known for being kind of laggy sometimes, but not on this device. On this device, it runs very well. You can see featured apps, categories, top paid, top free, and just for the heck of it, we will download Instagram. And it's downloading down, and while it's downloading, you can always obviously still do whatever, and you can go and see the notification bar, which now is extended. They've got new options. They've got power saver, they've got driving mode, and yeah, those are the two new options. So let's open up Instagram and we will register, and you can see that I can still switch through applications pretty easily. So let's go back to the browser, let's find that, and you can see that browser still works very fluidly, and we will go to a new story, and then we will switch over to Instagram, do whatever we need to do here, switch back, browser, and actually we will double tap, oops, looks like double tap is a little bit finicky. That's odd. It was working just a second ago. So let's try. Oh yeah, double tap does work properly. So the browser works. There are other browsers obviously you can download because it's an Android device. You can use things like Firefox. I think it's still in beta. It may not be. I don't know. But there's also Chrome. There's also Maxthon, which people say Maxthon's really good, so that's one you might want to check out. Let's quickly head over to the task manager, and here you can see RAM, how much RAM is being used. So right now we're using just under a gig, and the total amount of RAM we've got available to users is 1.59 gigs. Downloaded apps, so Google Play services and Instagram. Active applications, it'll populate the list. If you have 4, you can end all. Okay, and you're back to the races. So I actually want to take a quick look at the keyboard. So we go to messaging. We're going to create a new message. We will enter the message. you have yeah, the usual Samsung keyboard, and this is where I think Samsung really shines, is because their keyboards have been so easy to use. So I can type in, this is the what can I write? This is the test of how well the Samsung keyboard works. So the quick brown, yeah, so auto text does mess you up a little bit, but let's try the landscape keyboard. So the yeah, so there's a little bit of a learning curve, but once you use it for a while, it's not too bad. This is a test message. Oops. Mess. And that's the thing. That's the one gripe I have. If you are writing words, so let's write message, but let's spell it incorrectly. Message. Yeah, so let's spell it incorrectly. If you go back and you try to add the word, it'll think you're writing a new word, and it may or may not mess up your sentence depending on what word it was. So that's the only one gripe I have with the keyboard. But other than that, you can hold down keys, specific keys, like the E key. You get multiple different versions of the letter, right? So that's always nice. That's always kind of been there as well. So keyboard is pretty good. You can always download third-party keyboards from the Play Store as usual. So all in all, what do I think? It's a good device. It's a good upgrade. It runs Android 4.0.4. So it's running the latest, the almost the latest build of Android. Call quality is the one thing I could not measure, simply because I didn't have a active micro SIM. But other than that, the camera works fine. So let's just quickly show you that. Let's actually launch it from the app here. So the camera is actually blazing fast. Oops. Camera. It's actually really fast. So, and you can just tap where you want it to focus, and let's take the picture. As you can see, these are all pictures. Take a look at some of the settings. So you got quite a bit of settings: GPS tag, ISO, focus, timer, effects, shooting mode, single shot, HDR, panorama. There's a lot of self-portraits as well. You can see me. That's the front-facing camera. Let's head back to turn self-portrait off, and burst shot, the shooting mode. Got some effects: negative, black, whites. What else have we got here? Sepia, washed out, gold vintage, and a couple others. We can also always just flip the camera, turn flash on, off, or do it auto, and head back here into the gallery, and where we have all the photos. These are all photos we just took right now. Zoom in, zoom out. Works very well. It's very fast, very fluid. Also, you can always share. It's a full list of places you can share the photos to. So it's the thing about Android is it's always been pretty integrated with other applications, and you just saw how fast that camera was working, and that's attributed to the processor, the amount of RAM, the hardware and software coming together. So all in all, what are my thoughts after this 20+ minute video of exploring the S3? I think it's a good device, yes. In terms of battery life, actually the battery life hasn't been too bad on the LTE version. Well, obviously if you're off LTE, it's going to last you much longer, but if you are in North America and you do pick up the Galaxy S3 and you get the LTE version, it's going to last you a day with normal usage for sure. It's not going to just die out on you, so you don't have to worry about battery life. I haven't been able to test out the call quality, like I said, but everything else works fine. The browser works fine. The Wi-Fi works fine. It doesn't drop Wi-Fi or anything. There's been no problems in my testing with the Wi-Fi. I've also had no problems with Bluetooth. And what else? Oh, also the DLNA client, it works pretty well. I've turned on media server on my BlackBerry and I've been able to stream content from the BlackBerry to the Samsung Galaxy S3 just perfectly fine, so that works as well. And there's not a whole lot of bad. I just wish that Samsung would be a little bit, or not Samsung, but the carriers would be a little bit quicker at pushing out these updates. If they don't, you get a lot of fragmentation, and yeah, that's not a good thing. So all in all, great device. 4.5 out of 5, just for the small annoyances, like the keyboard is a little bit of annoyance, but the keyboard's pretty good. Other than that, there's nothing much else I have to say about this device. So that's it. Phase Violet, exactly better, all things mobile. I'll see you guys in the next video.